Richmond, north of Richmond. Not just Kirby, that's what it is. Richmond, north of Richmond. I get it. Everyone's up, like, oh my goodness, it's the song of the century. It's the revolutionary song. I'm just, dude, do you not, it's amazing to me. And I like the song. The song's okay. I like the guy singing. I got no problem with him. But just no one finds it weird to out of nowhere. This guy, this is a song with 8 million views? And all his other stuff had no view, a couple thousand views, something like that. No one finds that weird. And YouTube put it in my feed, YouTube put it in your feed. Why would YouTube all of a sudden do that? It doesn't make sense to me. Well, because it's the whole point is controversy. Controversy sells. Red versus blue, black versus white, U.S. versus Russia. I'm telling you, man, they have to have two people competing. Controversy and fighting sells. This doesn't it's not organic. And it frustrates me so much that I hear people yeah, man, this guy gets what we're all going through. I'm like, man, I sit there and I'm just in shock how many people, even with Sniffy Joe in office, Bo Jiden, dude, your lives are so much better financially than they've ever been in the history of the world. You got to read my new book if you haven't, Relax and Retire. I literally don't understand the hostility of the current state of the world. It's weird to me, man. Look, I don't like the freaking politics. I don't even like Trump that much, frankly. I'll vote. I don't even know if I'm going to vote. I probably won't, be honest, because I think it's all one big show. Red versus blue, 51-49. Next guy is just to keep you at odds. It's so fake, so fake. But with that said, I still root for Trump because he's the one guy who at least got into politics. Made these kick-ass chicken breast today with this. So you cook the chicken breast on a grill, on the oven, because we got natural gas because Georgia crushes, and you saute it, I guess that's what it's called. Anyway, then you take them off and you put this soy sauce, oyster sauce, honey, 5 seasons, and then a bunch of onions on there. Oh man, it tasted good. So I just got done eating. Anyway, all right. So I want to share with you something here. I want to go into people. I can't afford a house anymore. All right. So I looked at the median home price of a house in 1984. Well, that's the income. Excuse me. Median income in 1984 was $22,450 median household income, and today it's $70,784. All right. Inflation adjusted, the median household income has risen by $15,000 adjusted for inflation if we use a CPI, which again, I detest the CPI, but whatever. So we've had an increase of $15,000 on what was $55,000 from 1984. All right, so 15, and that's 70, 55. That's an increase of 27% over the course of, 40 years or so. That's real. That's adjusted for inflation. That's a real increase in your median income, by the way. All right. Median sales price of a home in 1984 was $80,700. The median sales price of a home. Median sales price of a home now is $479,000. All right. So we just simply we go 70 divided by 22. So the median income has increased by 3.18%, 318%. The median income has increased by 318%. The median price of a home has increased by 6%. All right, so the median price of a home has increased by almost double that the median income, proving, right, that we can't afford a house. Interesting. Now, the average size of a house in 1970 was 1,500 square feet. The average size of a house in 2021 was 2,500 square feet. The average number of people in a house in 1970 was 3. The average number of people in a house today is 2.5. All right. So, yes, the prices of homes have gone up. Well, we have a lot of reasons for that. There's a heavy regulation and whatnot. We got look at California. You can't freaking take a grump without having to freaking get Governor Gruesome to sign off on a bill that you didn't use enough toilet paper or use too much toilet paper. It's insane. So we have huge, in fact, I think I was reading 25% of the cost to build a home now is due to federal regulation. So, yeah, you can gripe about that. I mean, I do. That's why I wrote Republican, because I don't like all this regulation. But isn't it weird? We have all this regulation, Republicans or Democrats. It always happens. The ADA, Americans with Disabilities Act, that happened under Bush. Now, we can argue against it all day long. That's regulation. EPA happened under friggin' Nixon. You know what I'm saying? Affirmative action, Nixon. I mean, the wage and price controls, Nixon. I mean, just come on, man. So anyway, so we see the median income has risen by 318%. The median sales price on a home has gone up by 598%. So a little bit less than twice the median income. But the size of a house has increased from 1,500 square feet. The 1,000 has increased by, 1,500. Hold on a second. 15 divided by 1,500 has increased by 66%. All right, so the average size of a house has increased by 66%, and yet the number of people living in the house has just climbed by a whole half of a person. Isn't that interesting? All right, let me show you something else here too, by the way. Oops, I need to do that. One second. I can't pause this. All right, hold on a second. What's going on there? There we go. All right, so I want to show you something here. Here's the. Why is it doing that? One second. I don't want that. Jeez, please, blue cheese. See my dirt doctor. All right. The increase in home equity since 1984. We're going to go to blink 1984. And the only reason I'm doing 1984 is that's the earliest I could find household median income according to the Fed. This is the Federal Reserve of St. Louis, the Fred. You can see the average house. Oh, what is this? Why do I keep doing that? All right, household homeowners' equity in real estate. All right, now this is not adjusted for inflation, but we're going to do something here. We can see equity was the $2.6 trillion in billions of dollars, whatever that is, $2.6 trillion. Yeah, $2.6 trillion in 1984. All right, now we scroll up here. It's $28 trillion. All right, so we have 28 divided by, what do we say, 2.6, divided by 2.6, 2.7, something like that. So the household equity is increased by 10 times, a factor of 10. Now, this is somewhat misleading because we want to log this to make it show you, at least in terms of, as the numbers are misleading. The graph can say, oh, that's rah. So I was talking about logging versus. For some reason, it didn't let me edit the graph to show you the log. It doesn't matter. The numbers are the numbers. It's just the graph is a visual representation. So scoundrels will not show you the log in terms of like, oh, look at the price of inflation, or that's stupid. And you want to see the log versus the algorithm, the arithmetic. But it doesn't matter. The numbers are numbers. We know that you had about 3 trillion household equity in 1984. Now we got almost 30 trillion household equity in today. Now, that's just the rich. 66% of people own homes in the United States. All right, it's not just the rich. It's just not. I guarantee the vast majority of your net worth is tied up in your home. I know mine is. Mine is, look at that guy right there. The vast majority of my net worth is tied up in that guy right there. And the nice thing about my home is it gives me a place to live as well. All right, again, why people don't use reverse mortgages, I don't get it, because they've been told by Dave Ramsey and others that reverse mortgages are scams. Nothing could be further from the truth. All right. Household debt service payments as a percent of disposable personal income. All right, so look at this. It only goes back to 1980. Look at that. 1980, household debt. So basically, you can say debt to income. Household debt services as a percentage of disposable personal income. All right, and again, and I would even argue that because the Fed is using the current population survey from the Census Bureau, and we know that for a fact the current population survey underestimates income. We know that. Even Social Security Administration finally admitted that in 2017. What's up, Growly? So the CPS underestimates income. So using the median income, using the CPS, the current population survey from the Census Bureau, understates income as well. All right, I'm just telling you it does. All right, so let's go here. All right, so here we got 10. We had a debt. I hate to say debt to income, but basically debt to income. How much income do we have, and how much did it cost us to service the debt? So it cost 10% of our income to service debt in 1984. Scroll up here to 2008. It cost 13%. It's a 30% increase in debt service to our income. Now we scroll down here, and it's at 9.63. All right, so here is what, about 10.6, and here's 9.63. So our equity's gone up. Yes, the price of a house has gone up more than the median household, but again, the median household, we're somewhat suspicious of that because we know it doesn't calculate all income if we're using the current population survey. Then, okay. But either that, we say, but the houses have gone up by 66% in size, while the number of people living in the house has gone down by one half of a whole person, a whole human being. All right, and on top of that, the debt service has gone way, way down. You can say, well, that's because interest rates are low. Yeah, you're damn right it's because interest rates are low. Doggone right. Interest rates low helped you build up wealth in your home. That's just, why is this unreasonable to think about? I don't understand. All right, let's keep going. I just want to go back. The debt service ratio is divided into two parts. The mortgage debt service ratio is totally quarterly required mortgage payments divided by totally quarterly disposable personal income. The consumer debt service ratio is totally quarterly scheduled consumer debt payments, that'd be credit cards, personal loans, car loans, and stuff like that, divided by quarterly personal income as well. The mortgage and the consumer sum to the debt service ratio. This is mortgages and consumer debt. Well, 10%. 10% of your disposable income. I mean, come on, man. It's just the idea that we're all living. It just is crazy to me. All right, let's see what else I got here. Let me just show you this right here. Sold equity as a percentage of total assets is the highest since 1998 as of April 2023. You can see our total assets, our household equity is now 25% of the total assets. So even though the prices of homes have gone up, the amount of equity has gone up even bigger than the price of homes. I don't understand. I don't get why so many people are so negative. Look, the collapse is going to happen. All empires collapse. We are an empire. That's just a fact. It's going to collapse. It's not going to collapse during our lifetime. It's just not. I mean, anything can happen, but come on. This idea that we're all just living here like we don't, I literally texted my man, Finn McKenty, for the Punk Rock MBA. I said, where does this song does anyone actually think it's organic that this song just came along? I mean, it's a revolutionary song of a lifetime. Like, this is crazy. You want to hear a revolutionary song of a lifetime? Town Co., if that ain't country, all right? The old man was covered with tattoos and scars. He got some in prison and others in bars. The rest he got working on old junk cars in the daytime. They looked like tombstones in our yard. I never seen him when he wasn't tired and mean. He sold used parts to make ends meet, covered with grease from his head to his feet, cussing the sweat in the Texas heat. And the skeeters, the neighbors said we looked like hicks, but they brung their cars for pot to fix anyhow. And then he says a bad word that you shall not say because everyone will go crazy. He was veteran proud, tried and true. He'd fight till his heart was black and blue. Didn't know how he made it through the hard times. He bought our house on the GI Bill, but wasn't worth all he had to kill to forget it. He drank pearl in a can, and Jack Daniels Black. Chewed tobacco from a mail pouch sack. He had an old dog that was trained to attack, sometimes. He'd get drunk and mean as a rattlesnake, and there wasn't too much that he would take from a stranger. There were 13 kids and a bunch of dogs, a house full of chicken and a yard full of hogs. I spent the summertime cutting up logs for the winter. All right. Trying like the devil to find the Lord, working like for a room and board. Coal burning stove, no natural gas. If that ain't country, I'll kiss your ass. Mama sells eggs at a grocery store. My older sister's a first-rate whore. Dad says she can't come home anymore, and he means it. Ma just sits and keep her silence. Sister, she left 'cause Dad got violent, and he knows it. Mama, she's old, beyond her time. From chopping tobacco, I seen her crying. When blood started flowing from a callous hand, and it hurt me. She just keep working, trying to help the old man to the end of one row and back again like always. She been through hell since Junior went to jail. When the lights go out, she ain't never failed to get down on her knees and pray 'cause she loves him. All right. Now our place was a graveyard for automobiles. At the end of the porch, there were 4 stacks of wheels and tires for cash and $1 or $2 cash. There were 50 holes in the old tin roof. Me and my family was living proof. The people forgot about poor white trash, and that ain't country, I'll kiss your ass. Man, I tell you, what a great song. So that was back in, I think that was written in the 60s. In the 60s, you didn't have air conditioning. In the 60s, a lot of people didn't have, hell, it was for the Rural Electrification Act from FDR, and we all know FDR was a clown. He knew that World War II was happening. He knew. He was made well aware of the Japanese. We all know this. All right, so he put the Pearl Harbor ships out there for a sacrifice, no other way around that. But he did have the Rural Electrification Act, and if we didn't have that, the TVA and whatnot, there'd be still a whole lot of people, mostly in the South, that didn't. I guess they did vote for him because the Democrats. They did vote for him, but still, they'd be sitting today like David Allen Coe was talking about. All right. Again, I just want to read this to you. So this is what's happening back then. It was only 50 years ago, dude. All right, right here. Right here. There were 13 kids and a bunch of dogs, a house full of chicken and a yard full of hogs. I spent summer cutting up dogs for the winter. Coal burning stove, no natural gas. Now that ain't country, I'll kiss your ass. Yeah, that's the way it used to be. And when I was growing up, I mean, again, I'm 53 now. We just cooked this chicken on natural gas. I mean, I don't think we had that. I think we had electricity. I'm not sure what we had. I'm sure it was electricity. In terms of heating our range. I don't know. We didn't have any freaking meat. We had a little bit of chicken. We had a little bit of liver. We didn't have cable TV. We didn't have air conditioning. We hardly had heat, and I was a little bit in Maine. We had school clothes. You had 2 sets of school clothes that you had to change out of every day because your school clothes got dirty. They stayed dirty throughout the rest of the year, like grass stains, because you didn't get new clothes all the time. 1 pair of tennis shoes, or shoes, I should say, a pair of play shoes and 1 pair of shoes that you wear to school to be presentable. This isn't right. I guarantee many of you went through the same thing. We didn't have a TV. We didn't have a car. We didn't have cell phone. Our own phone was a freaking party line. You picked it up. You heard Mildred from down the street talking to Bertha from halfway over the island. I mean, look, I'm only 53. This wasn't that long ago, my friends. I mean, you'd work 2 jobs, man. Yeah, I mean, like I was working in a bank during the day, and at night I'd go work for binding books at R.R. Donnelley to make ends meet. Working 2 jobs, people have been doing this for centuries. People work 2 jobs and go to night school. I guarantee you have some same thoughts on that. Put it in the comments. I just don't get why everyone's so negative. It's crazy to me. Well, inflation, dude, I get it. I guarantee you're not without. As my man Finn said, he goes, the biggest issues we have to deal with is diabetes and obesity. 100%. This is not a sign of a freaking poor population. Now, are GMOs bad? I don't think so. I don't think genetically modified organisms, I don't think it's bad. Are factory farming and pigs and chicken bad? Yes, 100%. I don't think that's good. For the chickens and the pigs, so they give them antibiotics, hormone stuff probably. That's why you should go back and get your raw meat, raw milk, all that. Is pasteurization of milk bad? 100%. Is fluoride in your water bad? 100%. All that stuff, without question. Is statins well overprescribed? 100%. Is OxyContin overprescribed? I don't know. I do know that some people get addicted, but many, many people rely on that because they have massive amounts of pain. Massive. They don't get hooked. So this whole idea that OxyContin, look, I don't like the Sackler family any more than you guys. We know who the Sackler family is from and what they're trying to do during the 57 flavors stuff. You know what I'm saying? Trying to profit off that. But at the end of the day, our lives are better than they've ever been. I don't understand. Well, it must be nice because you got a beautiful wife who loves you. Does she love me? I do have a beautiful wife. I got 4 kids. We fight all the time. And my kids will not fight, but we get, it's not, no one just rolled out the red carpet. When I was I went in the Army. After I got out of the infantry, I worked at UPS loading up trucks at night. During these weekends, I'd put these real estate signs for, Dell, Pulte, whatever they're called, Pulte homes in Northern Virginia. You had to do it under cover of darkness because it was illegal to do in some towns in Fairfax and Arlington. So you take these stakes, you pound them, you freaking park on the side of the road at 3 o'clock in the morning. You take these stakes, you pound them, and then you take your the staple gun, you put these things on, and then you take off like a bat out of hell because of the cops saw you. They give you a ticket for, I don't know what they're doing, menacing the peace or whatever it's called, disturbing the peace. Saturday in the afternoon, you have to come back and pick them all up. So I just do that. I worked at a bar. I started off as a dishwasher, worked my way up to server, then bartender, then ultimately manager. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you all have done that. I guarantee. Many of you all got the same stories. Put them in there. I cleaned carpets in the day. I remember going down to D.C. and I remember like yesterday, Southeast D.C. Not many whites run around there and have to haul my freaking chem dry carpet. We used to do it's like a buffer, except you do it for carpets, and you have to park way down the road because there's not much parking. I remember going to this one lady's house, his grandma's house, and she gave me cookies and milk because she was nice. An older black lady who's probably seen hell of a lot more distress than you've ever had as a black woman in the South, because the D.C. is considered the South back in the old days. I mean, it wasn't like it is now. You know what I'm saying? And yet we are griping, and she was very nice to me. She didn't give me a tip, and she didn't have any money, but she had bars on her windows and stuff, and and people were walking through. It had this big old thing of the buffer, had a haul, and all the stuff that had to go with me. And you're worried about your safety because Southeast DC was a rough and tumble place. I don't know if it still is. Maybe they pushed all that to PG County. I did that. I used to, when I first got in the Army, my first job was taking cigarettes. We used to go Camel, was it Camel Marbles? I can't remember. I think it was Camels. We'd go to redneck bars and market Camel cigarettes, and then we had these two black ladies who would go with me, and we'd go to urban bars and market Newports. Or, I mean, it's cool. I think it was Newports. It was either Cools or Newports. Same because black smoked the menthol, and the white smoked the whatever it was, traditional. And we give, and one of the black girls freaking gorgeous. I mean, like Whitney Houston gorgeous. And I remember, like, so here I was a young white guy, kind of, I hate to say escorting, but going to these black bars in D.C. and I was like, and nothing ever happened. You know what I'm saying? And then we go to the redneck bars in Manassas and down on 95 towards Fredericksburg and stuff, and nothing ever happened. No one ever cost us or anything. We were giving away free stuff, and had a beautiful lady with me, so it was always good. The other lady was fine. She was funny. She was big. She was heavy, but she was a funny lady, and nothing happened. This is the kind of stuff you did, dude. You did jobs to get by. You did it. I did it. Jobs are abundant now. Abundant. If you need to work 2 jobs and eat rice and beans like Dave Ramsey says, well, freaking do that. Just stop griping. I'm sick of griping. You live in the United States of America, for heaven's sake. There's no draft. I'm not going to send you to freaking to Ukraine. I just don't understand it. I don't understand it. If this YouTube channel doesn't work, I will go to Walmart. I'll change the tires on cars. I'll do anything. And you will too. Anyway, so I just hear this song. It's like, what is it that they're trying to do? What are they trying to promote? With this, and I don't mind this. I don't mind the guy. It's just out of nowhere. It's kind of like this guy, Professor Dave, who always takes on the flat earthers. It's like Professor Dave's a clown. He's just a clown, and not a nice man. He's not very bright either. All his videos don't get any views except his flat Earth videos, and they get millions of views. Like, why is YouTube, like, I don't get it. Like, what is it? What is behind the story? What is it they're trying to promote? And here I'm not quite sure. I just think they're trying to promote controversy and people griping. That's the only thing I could possibly think. But why? And I think when people are griping and they're not they don't have enough gratefulness in their heart, I think they're easy to be led by monsters, frankly. When you have gratefulness in your heart and gratitude, I think it's harder to be led, 100%. Because I think something else is going to come down the pike. I don't know what it is, but and I think they want division. The powers that be want division. That's why they're promoting this song. And just my thoughts. Love to hear yours. We'll see you. Comment in the doobly-doo.